And I said this on a previous podcast. Men make the world go round. People make jokes about it, but James Brown said, "Man made the car." Like it is what it is. Like our significance in this world is what it is, right? And I also said, but it don't take away the significance of a woman. It does not. It don't mean that a woman is less than,
nah.
because I hold more of an authority or more privilege or more power. Like it don't mean you less. A woman is less than that because that and this is so vital, Cam. Your sensitivity, your softness, your ability to just be quiet sometimes. That peace is what empowers the whole ship.
It sets the atmosphere.
Like, but I don't think that makes me a male chauvinist to think that way.
Well,
right?
I'm gonna say this, right? In order to be led, okay, it comes with instruction. That's hard to swallow.
You got to have once followed too.
You were created to follow, right? He created you to follow him, right? But he also gave instructions, and them instructions came from up here down, right? It didn't come from here, jumped over this, right? Come here to go back to this, to go back down here.
Yeah, so it didn't go down, out
and around.
No,
it came straight down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the reason why those instructions came straight down, because those were where are seeds planted? Seeds are planted in the ground, on the ground, to grow, to do what? Grow up.
Yeah.
So if the instructions come down and you plant that seed in the ground,
the action is to go up.
And the action, the fruit.
The fruit, yeah.
That's what feeds you, what edifies you, comes up.
Yeah.
And then it branches out, right?
Yeah.
We got to get back to receiving the instructions in its order.
Yeah.
Okay? And when you do that, then at that point, and listen, let me say this, you cannot receive those instructions for who's not assigned to you, right? That don't mean you can take those instructions for any and everybody. That's why you have to have a conversation. That's why you got to make a choice. That's why you got to make a decision, because you got to believe that I can take instructions so that I can get the growth that I'm looking for.
Right.
Okay? It's all set out
at
the table.
Blueprint's there.
Blueprint's there.
It is there. And I don't want, one thing I don't want is for women to hear this podcast and be like, they don't know what it's like. What I'm saying, and I want this to be very, very clear, everything starts with me.
I'm responsible.
Everything starts with me. The success and the failures of life, relationships, my children, my job, like it all starts with me, and it trickles down.
Right. I'm the one gonna be judged.
Yeah, I'm the one
first.
Yeah. So no matter how you taking this, no matter how you receiving this right now, what I'm saying is the success and the failures are based upon my actions, and that's the point I was making about Adam and Eve, right? The whole Adam and Eve situation was based upon Adam's fall, not Eve's being manipulated, right?
Because he made that decision.
Because he made that decision.
Which is the reason why it's my hurt.
It's gonna hurt.
It's the reason why things are like they are in relationships. Because now a lot of men are starting to realize what they're being held accountable for, what their responsibility is. And I am no longer going to bite another apple. Because if you bite the apple, right, there's consequences and repercussions, right? It may cause some constipation.
Yeah.
It may cause, it's the things that go along with that. But, it's amazing, that you have these conversations, like you said. The first thing people say that, they don't know what they're talking about.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Well, when you sit around with a bunch of brothers, it takes about an hour and a half to smoke a cigar. And I learned that cigars is like playing golf and some of these other things. You learn a lot. A lot of business actions, a lot of transactions. Yeah, a lot of transactions.
We just did when we were at Dave's house.
Yeah.
We were all sitting around talking.
Like just a bunch of brothers,
15 grown men
just sitting in there having
sharing,
conversation,
talk,
and trying to get some clarity about how to be better.
Yeah, how to be better men.
And you know, it's just amazing because you know, we take that time here, you know, and I think the most rewarding part about it is that the thing you say, man, it ain't just me, huh?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
man, this is pretty different.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's hard
to
build that.
Yeah.
You know, and then you look at the people thinking they really got it together and things, you know, going, everything is on the up and up. And you be like, wow, man,
he in the storm too.
Yeah, he in the storm too. Like, he's struggling financially, he's struggling in relationships, his kids, you know, knuckleheads, you know, we deal with a lot. And you know, I think that, you know, as you know, you said in the beginning about what is it to be a man. I think the biggest thing to be a man too, you know, just going back to that is realizing that you can't stop learning.
Yeah.
You can't stop growing. You can't stop trying. You can't stop trying to become a better version, and even at the expense of change.
It's and even the appearance, like you were saying, like you look at another man, you be like, man, I didn't realize he was going through this, or you know, he was dealing with some of the same things that I'm dealing with, because like women wear makeup, we mask our storms as well, right? We put makeup on our storms, right? You know, we may look like it's all together, like we may portray that it's all together, but you know, until you actually sit down and start talking, have these conversations and understandings, you know, you'll have a skewed idea or a skewed view of what's actually going on around, right? So I know we went, you know,
we went.
Yeah, The conversation went where it's supposed to go. There's still a whole lot of places that we need to kind of let the world into, as far as our conversation. But one thing I wanted to say, I wanted to ask you was, how do you feel about fatherhood? How do you feel about being? You got a son and a daughter, right?
Yes.
Kamaya and Kate. How much of being a father has been the significant part of your life?
Love my kids. But I can't stand them.
My brother say, and I'm not going to use the word, but my brother always say, man, F them goddamn kids.
Hey, man, listen, I love my children like that. Let me tell you, my daughter is like, that's my first one. That's my accountability.
Yeah.
That's the one that's going to challenge my patience, my understanding, my fortitude. She is the one that's gonna try it out, right?
Yeah.
She's the one that's gonna push me to the brinks,
Yeah.
to be the best father ever. Like, you know, and I'm still trying to figure out how to be the best father ever. Yeah. Right. Now my son, on the other hand, that's my dog. Like that's my mini. That's my, you know, scary. That's the one.
He borderline genius though.
He's smart. He teaches me a lot. And that's what I was about to say. Caleb is who's teaching me how to be a better father to Kamaya. Because he shows me in my beginning of my process where I am now, right? So now I'm having to build him through it, right? And as I'm building him through, I'm like, oh, that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? And my dad is sitting back. He
just
laughs. Like, ha. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, fatherhood to me is extremely important. Simply because, like I said, I made the choice to have it. I didn't have it, but I brought it.
Yeah. You provided.
I provided the purpose.
You provided the spark. Yeah.
And they have been most reward and hell I've ever been. I've been to heaven and hell.
What is about? And I don't understand, but even as a parent now, understand like that. I look back at my parents and what I put my parents through, as a child, and now my mama used to always do that the Whoopi Goldberg thing from what movie was that with Whoopi Goldberg and Color Purple when she was like
All that.
yeah. My mom used to do that to me
Yeah.
and my brother and sister, saying, your kids
Yeah.
gonna do you like
you do right by me.
till you do right by me.
Yeah.
Right. So but and it is just one of the most rewarding things. As a father, like your kids, as much hell and it's still ain't nothing, there's nothing that you're gonna do for you.
Correct.
Like we're gonna always, do what we can for our kids. But from a father's aspect, from a man aspect of being being a father as a man, there's so much more responsibility and accountability that we provide to our children, right? And I say all the time, fathers teach women how to understand the word no, right? They teach their daughters how to survive through disappointment. And what I mean by that is my daughters ask me for a lot and they got way more no's than they got yeses. But what they were able to understand was there was a reason why I said no. And there were significant things that would have happened if I didn't say no. Right. So as they grow up, as they have grown up and got into their own relationships, no's don't affect them as much as the world would say. You know what I mean? Like they got the significance of me chastising them and giving them information and telling them no and telling them to sit down. And no, you can't go here. No, you can't do that. No, you can't buy this. No, you can't buy that. So when they get married and their husbands need to make a decision,
like don't wear that.
Yeah. Or don't buy that.
Don't buy that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Instructions.
Yeah.
Talking about instructions.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Roberto James Cigars. Thank you for watching me and Let's Chop It Up podcast. Roberto James blends an old school craftsmanship with modern flavor using premium hand-selected tobacco from the Dominican Republic. Whether you're winding down after a long day or celebrating something big, these cigars are a celebration. I've tried them myself, smooth, rich, and perfectly balanced. It's the kind of smoke that makes you slow down and enjoy life. And right now, you get 10% off with your first order using promo code DD. Visit RobertoJamesCigars.com. Now, back to the show.
So raising kids, especially daughters, important that fathers, pay attention how they're raised.
Yeah.
Don't just the expectations of a daughter when it comes to his father is different than the expectations of her being one day a wife.
Yeah.
And we need to take more so raise our daughters to become wives, and not just be our daughters.
I'm going to say something very, very controversial.
Right.
That I know most people going to be like, you just stupid. You was out your mind. There's no way. What are you talking about?
It's the two on this podcast is probably the right one for come on.
Right. So I had a conversation with this young lady a couple months ago, and we was talking about my daughter, and I had said to her, I feel as if it's my responsibility and my job to teach my daughters how to be wives. Right? And she said, what? You can't teach no woman, your daughters how to be wives? I said, I can't teach them how to be women. Correct. I'm not a woman. Correct. But I can sure give them information on what a man expects from his wife. Correct. And how to be a good wife. I can tell them that. I talk to them about it. I told my youngest daughter, she wants to be a psychiatrist. She wants to be a doctor. And I said to her, regardless of what your husband does, you still got something. That don't mean financial. I mean, you have to be you have to be enough of a support to him in order for the house to move the right way.
Right. You can teach her how to be a good wife or a bad wife.
Yeah. Either way.
Right. Because of your actions and how you are in your relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they paying attention to it. They be like, oh, yeah. So I can make him do that?
Yeah.
Oh, he can.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a tricky situation.
Yeah. And unfortunately, me and their mom divorced when they were young. So they didn't actually get an opportunity to see a good, healthy, thriving relationship.
Right.
Right. I'm boring you?
No. I just go sleep after that conversation.
Oh, yeah. I'll just keep. So they didn't really get an opportunity to see a good, healthy, thriving relationship because me and their mom, we weren't mature enough to even have gotten there. Me and their mom have talked about this before.
Right.
Probably was one of the worst decisions that we made was actually getting married. Because we weren't mature enough, we understood. You can understand the role, my role as a husband, her role as a wife. So we've actually had that conversation, but that's why I can have that conversation with them about understanding what a wife is, understanding what it means to be a good wife, or what a husband may need from his wife. So people gonna disagree with me, but that's how I feel. I feel like I'm teaching my daughters how to be wise, support it, and period, point blank. And I don't care how you feel about it. Argue with your mama. Don't argue with me because that's how it work out. Yeah. And that's just how I feel. Like, but my daughters are so, intrinsically, like, man, I couldn't be more proud of my daughters because they're responsible, grown adults, right? And they trust in me, they believe in me, they lean on me, they ask me questions, they want to know the truth about things, and I tell them the truth. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I talk to my daughters about everything. I got a 32-year-old son that I do the same thing with him, right? I talk to him about everything as well too. But being a father is probably the most rewarding thing.
It's definitely the type of father you are that they trust to be able to come and have a conversation with you and ask you questions, share things. In some cases, that's difficult because of us having so many blended families and relationships and stuff like that. Kids are not being taught or being coached or encouraged to have a strong relationship with their parent, regardless of the outcome of what happens in the relationship. So
It's especially coming from the time of when we were growing up. Our parents were like, "Shut up, do it, sit down, don't
do what I say,
don't ask me no questions."
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So our, raising of our children is very much different. It's totally different from that. Like I tried that because I said it with my kid.
Right.
I tried it with my daughter, but I tried it with because I'm your daddy, because I said so, and they both was like, "Yeah, but why?" Why used to get you knocked out, bro?
Well, I find myself straddling the fence sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I answer the question. Sometimes I might just swing because I'm just not. I'm that day. Like there's a boundary of you questioning because you want a definitive answer.
Yeah. But it's a reason. Some of those whys deserve answers. So I do agree.
Well, it's part of your learning process.
Yeah.
Y'all are processing things different. Where back then we was outside swinging on vines, climbing trees, and building ramps and jumping ramps and doing stuff that we probably could have killed ourselves.
Yeah.
But that sharpened our mind of being able to make certain decisions, like you being somewhere you ain't supposed to be and doing something you ain't supposed to do and got shot at, but you got up out of it. You know what I'm saying? So, the kids today, you gotta answer the why.
Yeah.
Because they're not as equipped as we were to get up out of it.
They know like the kids today, and I tell you, it's exactly what you said. Like that was a danger that we experienced.
We was in the woods, man. We
provided us survival skills.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I'll never forget one time we jumped out the house with some trap bags, thinking there was gonna be some parachutes. Good for our leg. Like, you was doing crazy stuff, man. But nowadays, you know, the fathers, they gonna jump us off the couch, off the video game.
Y'all jumped off the house.
But man,
want some trash back.
But
oh my God.
Went bad, bro. So
hey boy,
might be the reason why my knees hurt today.
Hey, but that's part of, you know, that's part of growing up.
Yeah,
like, yeah, that's part of our process. Like we did stupid things growing up. Like I mean, I can't tell you.
But it today is the reason why we value fatherhood the way we do. Is because now it's like we remember our childhood.
Yeah.
And we just really want our kids to grow up and have as less
you
know, stress and problems as we have, but reality is they're gonna have to go through some things.
Yeah, they gotta go through some things.
And part of going through some things might be, you know, one of them quick backhand
knees up.
Yeah, quick backhand or something, you know, don't do that no more.
Yeah. And I used to really have a problem with why. I would tell my kids to do something, and you know, they would ask me why. And I used to really because I would, you know, think back to saying why to my parents and not remembering what happened after I said why. Yeah. I just remember waking up. I just remember waking up. Yeah. You know.
And the system said you can't do that like that now.
But what I realized is they were asking why because they wanted to understand the purpose or the significance of what they were being asked to do. Right? When why for us was, you know, I don't know if it was the same thing, but it just didn't go well.
Well, we didn't have choices.
Yeah.
They have choices.
Yeah.
You know, and society has built it for them to believe that some of those choices that they think they have
that they're entitled to.
Yeah, they're entitled to. And the reality is, yes, you can make a choice. Yes, you do have choices. But are you prepared to be responsible for your choice?
Yeah.
Because that's what, you know, there's conversations I've had, you know, with my kids and bonus kids and all this other stuff. And, you know, people I mentor and all is that, yes, you do have choices. My job is to give you the meat and the food to eat so that you can limit the failures in your choice.
Yeah.
You know, some of the choices you're gonna make gonna always, you know, sustain you. You're gonna be good.
Yeah.
You know, but there's some choices that you just ain't gonna.
Yeah, I told my son, I think he might have been about 21, 22 years old at the time in college. I told him, I said, there's a portion in your life, and this was something I didn't even understand at his age, but I understood it when I told it to him. You go from me helping you, me doing for you, to me helping you, right? So there should be a graduation in your life where, you know, if you make a mistake, I'll save you from it.
Correct.
Right? Or if you do something wrong, I'll help you with it. And then you get to a point in your life where you're graduating to your man stage where I'm just advising you.
Right.
I'm just helping you. I'm just giving you advice on what to do and how to fix the situation versus coming to save you.
Right.
Right. You got to move to a point, and that's part of becoming a man too, where I don't have to save you.
Right.
You know, and that was something I struggled with, even, you know, as I got into my later 20s, where because I had such, I don't want to say, I had a difficult time with my father and my relationship with my father. I struggled with man stuff because I was pushing back, or I was just being, you know,
belligerent.
You know,
I was that child that was gonna push the envelope and try, but my dad didn't play, and I knew what not to do. But you know, I had my ways of doing what I wanted to. But it wasn't until I got older that I realized the value of the things he was telling me. And it was by the grace of God that I didn't get caught up in some things based upon my decision.
Yeah.
that could have, been bad. But it was because of my father and the foundation he had given me to say, okay, it's time to go, or I better not do that. And always what was in the back of my mind was the part where they swing on you, something get thrown at you, or that switch get braided, That was always in the back of my mind, and I'm just not going to take that too far.
How you feel about corporal punishment? How you feel about spanking, whooping, stuff like that?
Can I say it like I want to?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like I, you're not going to tell me I can't discipline my child. I know how important discipline is because I got discipline.
Yeah.
And I turned out to be a pretty stand-up gentleman because of the discipline. I believe that there's a level of punishment. I don't think you should take it too far.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between a spanking and abuse.
Yeah.
I do think that it should always be done and followed up with love.
Yeah.
I think the love should always supersede the punishment. A lot of times what I'm realizing is with these kids, these new kids, because we were once kids, these new kids, they just really don't care. In a sense, they'll take it. But I realize that you have to do less of that when you spend the quality time and have the conversation and build a bond and not a friendship. There's a difference between a bond and a friendship. I think there's a lot of parents trying to be their kids' friends, and I don't agree with that at all. That's when you don't have the discipline. That's when the discipline is not effective. You know what I'm saying? Because now what you're going to get is tried. And I don't let kids try. So that's why I ain't their friend.
Yeah. This is Men Let's Chop It Up podcast with me, your host, Double D. Fellas, let's talk about something real right now. Let's talk about comfort. Let's talk about being at home and being away from home. Let's talk about dude wipes. I know me, myself, I hate toilet paper. And ever since I found dude wipes, it's been the best thing for me. It's for the everyday man. So when you get a chance, stop by your local retail store and pick up a package of dude wipes. It's for the everyday man. Now, back to the show. I have a perfect example of friendship with your child. So I had my son when I was 21. And because my relationship with I felt like I had a strained relationship with my father. When I had my son, I was like, this gonna be my dog. He gonna be my homeboy. We gonna do, I ain't gonna be like, yeah. And it was probably the worst decision that I ever. Not that he turned out bad because he's a great kid. Right. College graduate, got his own business now. Like, not that he turned out bad, but I say the worst decision I ever made because I didn't equip him with certain things that he needed to become a man. Right. He's there now, through trial and error, but because I was trying to be his friend and give an example. He got a flat tire. He called me and was like, Dad, I got a flat tire. I said, what you calling me for? He was like, because I don't know how to change it. And I immediately said, my bad.
Change that tire.
No, I talked him through it.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked him through it, and he did it. He did it on his own. Like, we were on the phone. He put the phone on speaker, put it down, and I told him, go in the trunk, get the jack. I talked him through it. But I spent 5 minutes apologizing to him because I was so trying to be so much of his friend that I didn't equip him with just everyday information. Things that I hated or disliked my dad for. Right. I remember my dad, he grabbed me when I was 16 and taught me how to change the tire. Mm-hmm. I ain't do that for my own son. Right? Because I was harboring all these stupid feelings, my dad, he being, he talking to me crazy, like all the stupid stuff that don't mean nothing. Right. Taught me how to change the oil in my car when I was 16, 17 years old.
Now, my dad didn't teach me that.
Yeah,
but he did teach me how to go make some money so I can pay somebody chain balls.
Yeah, what I'm saying, yeah, and not everybody's father taught them them things, right? But I'm saying like those intrinsic things that that fathers teach to their children.
Like check your
check your oil. Like, bro, he didn't know what an oil stick was.
Listen.
And I had to apologize. I was like, bro, that's my bad.
And my dad still doing it. Like, my dad would call me and like, yo, you served that long?
Yeah.
You ordered up your bobcat?
Yeah.
Hey, you need me to come by there? We order up all your grease fittings and stuff.
Yeah, that's because he a daddy.
Yeah. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
But it's the father in him that says, you know what?
You don't stop
it's
being
not
a father.
that he a man. It's not that he's not a man or that he don't know any better. Let me just keep supporting and telling him, hey, I'm your father.
Yeah.
I'm here for you.
Yeah.
And I want to remind you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you just be like, man, appreciate it. You know, he come over there sometime, man. We get out there and it has nothing to do with the oil.
Yeah.
Or greasing it up.
Yeah. It just turned into a conversation.
It turns into a conversation of fatherhood for him to check and see where I'm at.
Yeah. I'm gonna interview my dad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna interview my dad for this
I
podcast.
think you should. I interview mine too.
Yeah. I'm gonna interview my dad.
That's strong.
Because there's some things that I need for him to know.
Segment on folks.
Yeah.
Talk about father.
Yeah. We might do that. That's a good idea. I'm gonna have to put that in the notes. I might have to do that.
It's gonna get real.
Yeah. But like that father, like, man, it's just like one thing I have been saying for a while now is, we like to tell our children, when we make mistakes, like, there's no playbook for being a father, there's no playbook for being a parent, I'm just kind of learning. I'm doing this on the cuff, like I'm just kind of learning as I go. We're growing together, without understanding our parents, without providing that same grace to our own parents.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that was something I had to do. That's why me and my dad's relationship where it is now, because I had to take a step back and say, he had no playbook either.
Right. Jay just came and asked me about the flat top.
Right.
So I got to give him the same grace.
Right.
Jay just get me. I got it.
Yeah. I had to do it. I had to take a step back from that and say, hey, man. And then here's the other part that we don't consider. Our generation, me and your generation, our parents, the men in that generation were being fathers and trying to survive. How can I say this? Trying to survive racial tension, right?
Yes.
Remember, our father grew up in 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
So my daddy was born in 47. Right. So 57, he was 10. 67, during the height of civil rights, he was 20.
Yeah.
Right? So the survival for him
is a different perspective.
Right? Yeah. So his whole way of thinking and everything that, encompasses, how he thought and what his process was from survival.
Right.
Just trying to stay alive.
Right.
Because at any point, these white folks could have grabbed him and snatched him up.
So their survival was physical and mental.
Yeah.
Now our survival is financial.
Yeah.
Financial as well as those things.
Yeah, as well as. Yeah. It's a percentage-based thing.
It
right?
is. It's a percentage.
Yeah.
And I think that's where us as leaders and men, we need to start pouring more back into our kids, teaching the importance of business.
Yeah.
The importance of money, saving money, finances, resources, the importance of creating your own.
Yeah.
Or at least having, say you said master.
Master of one.
Jack of all.
Yeah.
How important is stepping into different things and different entities too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that you don't have those struggles. It's important, man. It's real important to have these conversations. There's a lot of people not have.
Yeah, it's not enough of these conversations going on amongst men, and and I would say it's not enough of these conversations going on within our community. And when I say community, I mean the black community.
Absolutely.
We aren't having enough of these financial survival conversations, right?
That's a whole show.
Yeah, because some of the things that I learned, and I said this when we were at Dave's house. I said my dad didn't talk to me about credit. My dad didn't talk to me about money. My dad worked with General Motors for 35 years, right? And his thing, he'd go to work, pay his bills, survive, buy cleats, like stuff like. But he didn't talk to me about financial worthiness. But his father didn't talk to him about financial worthiness because they were trying to survive, right?
Stop depositing.
Yeah, yeah.
Stop depositing into things that you're not going to be able to withdraw anything from. That is a word. Stop depositing in things, people, places, responsibility that ain't yours, that has no withdrawal of value. I can't say that enough.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to wind up in the negative.
In the negative. Mentally. Okay,
Basically,
let me say this, man.
Yeah.
Let me say
Hit them with it, dog.
All right.
Hit them with it.
I'm not sure if it's current, or is it this month still, or was it last month? It was men's mental health month.
Last month.
Last month.
Yeah.
I didn't even know, right?
Right.
That it was that month.
Right.
Right? I didn't know because it's been that month for me.
Yeah.
Every month. But the fact that they actually acknowledge that month and there's no big to do about it is a problem.
Bro, and I saw some clip from a podcast where some women talking about, men, what the hell? What they? And I'm like,
I know for sure that there are a lot of men, and I'm going to go as far as to say at least 80% of the men that's dealing with some kind of mental health.
my sister say black men have PTSD.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially those that have a family or kids or a wife, or somebody that they are responsible for. Because what man can protect you? Sleep.
Yeah.
Think about that. He always have to be ready.
Yeah, you got to be ready.
Always.
Yeah. What's the saying? You stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
So you don't have to get ready.
Yeah.
But if you are in your relationship or in any form of relationship and you're the one that sleeps good, make sure that you appreciate that.
Make sure you say thank you.
Make sure you say thank you. You get some good night and you get a good night's sleep. You snoring at night.
Yeah.
And you well rested in the morning. Appreciate that because
send some appreciation. Yeah.
Because that's not an easy task.
Bro, you said a mouthful right there.
Yeah. It's not an easy task.
I wonder how many women actually doing it. How many women you think actually saying for the man that's providing, protecting, and securing? How many women you think actually
in the world?
Yeah. 5 that say thank you. I appreciate these lights being. Yeah. This episode is brought to you by The Right Cut Landscaping and General Contracting. Transform your outdoor space with The Right Cut Landscaping. Whether you're dreaming of a pristine garden or a stunning patio or a complete landscape overhaul, we also offer tree surface removal, clearing and grading, sod installation, and project management for your landscaping needs. Ready to elevate your landscaping? Call 404-610-2819. The Right Cut Landscaping. Now, back to the show. I appreciate your food on my. I appreciate them groceries. I appreciate all this that you do.
Yeah.
The safety that you provide.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
We sit around and talk about that.
Yeah. And we hadn't even gotten to the depths of our conversation because I personally don't think it would be advantageous for us to go that deep.
Not yet.
Not yet. I don't think it'd be advantageous. But when we were at Dave's house that day, we was all sitting around talking, man. I was like, I was impressed by the honesty of men.
That don't happen.
That does not happen, bro.
Especially amongst other men.
Yeah.
Because
it's a time, like I said,
weakness.
Bro, I said that. I said most times when men sit around and talk like this, somebody gonna say, man, this gay. Somebody gonna say this gay to be sharing and talking.
Men are starting to get in a place now that it's tired.
Yeah.
Because through life, on everyday life, you have to hold so much in.
Yeah.
When it comes out, it's destructive. And that's what women understand, that if you allow it to build up, if you allow it to build up in him, when he do let it out, it's going to destroy.
Yeah.
Right? Because it takes a lot for it to surface outside of a man. A real man, it takes, they can hold in a lot. But if it ever gets to a point that it starts to boil over, then you can expect you can expect that it's going to be destructive.
Yeah.
And it's going to be extremely uncomfortable because it has been for him for so long. Mm-hmm. And, to be able to sit around a table amongst men and have certain conversations.
Yeah. Honest
conversations.
Yeah, man.
Then number one, you feel like, okay, I'm not number one. Number two, you feel like, okay, what portion of his side of the story can I get something from?
Yeah. To
be a better version of me.
Yeah.
It was just really, really rewarding.
Yeah.
Like we said, because they was I'm talking about spitting it out.
Yeah, man.
Like they was like I thought at one point one of the bros was about to like bust a tip, and I was like, hold on, dog. Now we gonna get this out. We're gonna have a conversation, but don't get your approval.
I don't think we went to the point where we ready to start crying around nothing.
No, that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
But it really, really got intense.
Yeah.
The conversation got intense, and what I was impressed with was the level of respect each one had for one another, and letting them speak and listening, and then how the opinions or went around the room, like. And then you had a couple of people that said they didn't want to say anything.
Yeah.
They just wanted to listen.
Yeah, just soak it up.
Yeah.
So It wasn't, nobody was trying to talk over one another. Nobody told someone that they were wrong in any aspect of what they were feeling or thinking. Like it was just like a real open, genuine conversation, man. It was probably one of the most impressive things that I've been involved with as a man.
Right.
Where men was actually sitting around being honest about how they were feeling and where they were in their lives and what they thought was actually going on, man. So that was, I'm glad I caught a lot of it on tape too, because I did record a lot of it. Yeah. So
that's good.
I did catch a lot of it on tape. Yeah, it was very valuable. I learned some things too, and one of the things that I like about this podcast is all the men that I've talked to, I've learned something about.
Correct.
Right. And I've gained a greater higher respect for them, not just from a surface base, what I thought I knew.
Right.
Like I was able to get some more information that made me even more inquisitive, and made me even more appreciative of the relationship with these other men. Right. So one of the things I want to start, I talked to you about yesterday, is I want to start getting men together for a walk. I want to strong, like we just kind of meet at a track somewhere. It don't have, where it can be different tracks, because the men, wherever they come, men could be coming from anywhere. So we can meet at different places. We meet at Stevenson. Stevenson is close by you. We can meet at different places and just go and just walk around the track. We get there, we pray. That's my idea. Right? So we pray, walk around the track. Anybody need to get anything off their chest? Anybody want to talk about something? Anybody need advice? Talk. And then we pray, and then we go our separate ways. Right? But I think it's important at this stage of our lives that we begin to insert some healthy things into it as well. And I was actually gonna holler at one of our homeboys, Wesley Butch, and see if he
would help spearhead.
Would help. Yeah, kind of spearhead that thing. But I think it's important that we, infuse, some type of healthy something involved in the conversation as well too, because we all getting older.
We are getting older.
We got, and I told Dwayne Hayes just yesterday, got more time behind him than that in front of him. So we gotta be a little bit more. What's the word I'm thinking of? Intentional.
Yeah, I'm working on being just Cam.
Yeah,
taking that big.
Yeah, Cam.
Yeah, Cam.
Okay.
Big.
I think Big Cam fit though.
Yeah,
It say more than body size.
Well, the big gonna come from that bank account.
Yeah.
It's not my size.
Yeah.
So that's what we work.
I used to always say when I was in the barbershop, actually when I started gaining most of my weight, people said, "Man, Big B, you getting big." I say, "Man, look, it's 6'6", not X6." I told y'all, I'm stuck up. I'm arrogant, dog.
Yeah.
I'll be on that bull.
I ain't nothing wrong with it. We just, I like being a big guy, but I also like to feel healthy. So that's what I'm working on. Because I just real hard work.
Yeah, I mean, but you probably more healthy than you would assume because what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of because you country strong.
That I am. But
country strong. I'll tell you.
Playing out in the woods is different.
Yeah.
But again, there's other things. Like I said, mental health, the physical health. Dropping weight, being able to, be amongst brothers that's elevated.
Yeah.
I think that walks, it's perfect.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get it going within the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna try to put some initiative together, see, and like it don't have to start out with 50 men, right? Start out with a couple and just build from there. Because I know a couple guys that we take advantage of it, and we can just go from there, man. Just build from that point. It's turning, and at some point, it probably turn into something bigger than that. But that's where I want to start. Right, with start walking.
Right.
See what we can accomplish from that point. Man, we've been talking for 2 hours, dog.
Hey, man. Me and you can talk for 2 more.
Yeah, we've been talking for 2 hours.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you too, man. I just also want to tell you, man, I value our friendship. I value our relationship. And
Absolutely.
And I got your back no matter what.
Thanks. Same.
Yeah, I got your back. Yeah. No, we don't play around. Yeah. We 100. Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah.
That will never change.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up right here, man. I want to send a shout out to the sponsors for sponsoring the show. Roberto James Cigars. I thank you for your support for this Me and Let's Chop It Up podcast. The owner and proprietor of the Right Cut Landscaping, Mr. Cam Wright himself, is also a supporter and a sponsor of the show.
Absolutely.
And I also want to thank you, man, for being a supporter.
Yes, sir.
And I also want to say thank you to Dude Wipes as well, too, being a supporter of the show. Thank you for the support that you provided for the show. I thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. I'm your host. I'm your boy, Double D. This has been another successful episode of Me and Let's Chop It Up. Peace out. Catch you next time.